Good morning everybody, welcome to the celebrations for the Chinese Moon Festival. We're students of Austin Go, the Wing Chun Martial Arts Academy based in the Chinese Community Centre, who we're here to support today. Wing Chun, as most of you probably know, is an ancient Chinese martial art of self-defense. It was invented by a woman about 400 years ago, so it's very effective, it's very direct, it's very cruel, and it's very easy to learn. So Oliver here is our senior student at the Academy, and Wilbur, who is a trainee instructor, and I'm coming through the ranks, so I get to talk on the microphone. But the techniques that come behind Wing Chun rely on this idea of sensitivity, feeling what your opponent's about to do rather than watching what they do. And to work that technique, we have an exercise called Chi Sao, which is sticky hands, if I've got my pronunciation right. So Oliver and Wilbur demonstrate Chi Sao to you, and if you notice, if you guys start, they link hands at the centre, and the idea is now they're not watching each other, they're actually trying to feel what the opponent's going to do through their arms. The idea behind this is it makes you much faster and much more sensitive to what's happening in an attack. If you see something, you've got to process it, think about it, and then react. When we train this way with Chi Sao, you feel the techniques first and you react. So it's a much faster but a much more difficult way to train. So we'll just let them work a little bit now. The other advantage of Wing Chun against other martial arts is it doesn't rely on you being strong or tall or big or physically powerful at all to excel. Remember, it was invented by a woman, and the woman wanted to defeat somebody who was interested in her and she wasn't interested in him. Sounds like one of the little stories. So there you see Oliver has very little movement on the side of our instructor, and it has a rather large effect on your opponent. And if you slow it down, you'll see they do a combination of attacks, which are punches, finger jabs, and then also they can do, if the opponent moves in, they can do grabs, and you can turn those into arm locks, you can turn those, present them into a kick. And again, the way we use the technique, it's very easy to defeat somebody who's larger than you. Also in Wing Chun, rather than meeting force head on, as you might expect in... I've become undone, no I haven't. You see in MMA and the mixed martial arts, people go head to head, it's power versus power, it's strength versus strength. In Wing Chun we use a lot of movement, a lot of sideways movement. Oops, the guys are twisting at times. And the idea is they're sending their opponent's energy, bringing it in, and then sending the energy out. So if Wilbur does a few attacks, and then we'll let Oliver have some fun and redirect him and see where he ends up. So again, if Wilbur forces a big attack, Wilbur. There we go. And then Oliver, just by using a shift of his body weight and his arm movements, can send Wilbur flying, basically. But it's not all about the sensitivity training, although that is a very important part of it. Again, the fundamentals of Wing Chun are about ending a fight when it happens, and the easiest way to end a fight is the most direct method possible. So if you stand back for a second, and in attacks, again, the size of the opponent doesn't matter, the strength of the opponent doesn't matter. It has an impact, but at the end of the day, we hope it really doesn't matter. So the guys will start attacking each other now. Wilbur will be somebody who's trying to beat up Oliver. The other way around, oh, alright then. So Oliver is now going to beat up Wilbur. I'll get Oliver to use some street fighting techniques. Maybe he comes in with a big roundhouse, maybe he comes in with a punch, and then it's little Wilbur's job to defeat him. Oh, there you go. So there goes in with a big hook. And if you can notice there, what's happening is, as soon as Wilbur puts his arm up to defend, the other arm in, straight away for a counter-attack. Simultaneous punching and defending. He goes in there with an elbow over the top. So now he comes in with a front punch, and Wilbur brings in with a low kick, and also a takedown on the arm. So again, some of these basic techniques you might see in MMA, but the way Wing Chun handles them is completely different. It's a very effective and very direct martial art. Again there, somebody delivers a very powerful kick. Just by moving your body position slightly, stepping forward, you take the power out of the kick, and then you can counter-attack. You see Wilbur's kicks are coming in very low when he counter-attacks. So he blocks, change it, there you go. Oliver redirects his weight, sends him around, and comes in with a kick. If we break there again, the third element that we've got in Wing Chun are the forms. There are three fundamental forms in Wing Chun. There's Sil Lim Tao, the basic ideas form, Chum Kyu and Build Ji. Each form builds on the form before it, and each one is a kind of a catalogue of movements, a handbook of techniques. So in the beginning you learn the basic form, and then you move on, progress, and when you learn those forms, you use the techniques in those forms and you apply them directly to situations such as this. So we can demonstrate the forms now. Shall I join in? Okay, I'll join in. As I'm the beginner, I shall do the basic form, which is Sil Lim Tao. And then Wilbur will do Chum Kyu. And if you notice when he does his form, he starts to turn. My form is static, straight on. It's about delivering power, centre line. Wilbur's form is about learning to move and get the angles. And Bill G is about all of that put together, really. So give us a few moments if you watch what we're doing. And the other thing to remember about these forms is the Chinese notion of Qigong, internal energy. It's not just about physical power, it's about enhancing the body's own energy and applying that in the moves you do. That way we control our breathing, we control our posture, we control our height to the ground, we control our footwork, and all of that can apply in our forms. So I'll demonstrate Sil Lim Tao, Will will do Chum Kyu, and Oliver will do Build Ji.